Today I'm going to be going through something we have not talked a ton about at Productled, which is just what do we do? Over the years, we've been working like 9+ years just helping companies with product-led growth. And I can tell you, we have tried so many different things. We have done consulting. That's how we got started. We have done a little bit of services at the very beginning. We have also written 3 best-selling books now on product-led growth. And we've done online cohorts. And now we have really cracked what I believe is the very best way to help companies really succeed with product-led growth. And that is actually just our product-led implementation program, which today, this is almost like its 1-year anniversary. So it's just, this is what we do at Productled. We are your product-led growth partner. At the end of the day, full stop, that's what we're trying to go towards. What I want to go through with you is in the next 10 to 15 minutes, just go through how we actually support companies to succeed with product-led growth. So the very first thing is everything we do is tied to how do we help you install a proven product-led system that will add 1 million plus in self-serve revenue to your bottom line within 12 months without adding headcount. Now, if you book a free PLG game plan, that's where we'll go through and be like, okay, let's run the numbers. Does this actually make sense? Can we realistically hit this or not? After working with hundreds of SaaS companies on product-led growth, we kept seeing this same frustrating mistakes again and again. A lot of people have smart teams in the SaaS world, but when they have no product-led system, then they're usually launching a lot of PLG experiments that they find on LinkedIn. Oh yeah, somebody said this is a great idea. They're throwing things against the wall. Nobody really knows what they're doing. And without a proven roadmap, well, surprise, surprise, it just doesn't generate results. That's what we've seen again and again, and it's super frustrating. The other thing is, a lot of founders, they try and solve this by, well, we'll hire an onboarding consultant, we'll hire a pricing consultant, we'll hire maybe a better product marketer or productized service to get a better homepage, we'll hire a data analyst. None of these people actually understand really what PLG is. And of course, when you're talking to them, they're gonna be like, yes, you have an onboarding problem, but that is just coming from the onboarding expert. So of course, if you have one tool, you're gonna say, that's the problem. That's really what it is. But who knows? It could actually just be you have the wrong free model or you have a terrible offer. So it doesn't matter what people do in the product if they're not motivated to actually get the value. Even when you do assemble a lot of these right pieces, you are still left being the orchestrator of everything, of all the cross-functional growth teams that need to be in place to actually make PLG work. That's a lot of pressure on your plate to actually make this all work. And so that's really why we built Productled, is to solve that problem. Instead of just giving you advice and leaving you to figure it out on your own, we actually embed our product-led implementers who are elite operators trained on the product-led system to really drive your self-serve revenue. Quick disclaimer and reminder, they're not consultants, they're not theorists. They actually do the work so they can drive the strategy and get your team aligned. A couple things you'll get when working with us. First is a proven roadmap. You'll get a fully trained operator who has done it before. One of the things we always try and pair you with is a implementer who has been to the stage you're trying to go. So if you're at 3 million, trying to get to 10 million, we're gonna pair you with an implementer who has already done that so you can save a lot of time. The other thing is making sure you have this strategic firepower to get leadership, your product and growth teams all rowing in the same direction. Since launching this program, we have helped dozens of B2B SaaS companies add millions of self-serve revenue, lift free to paid conversion rates by 20% plus, lower your customer acquisition costs by over 20%, reduce sales cycles by 25%, and scale profitably without adding more headcount, which is the goal. One quote here from Alex Turnbull, he just definitely loves to say that implementing the product-led system has just been a complete game changer for his company Groove. Now, here's why product-led is the smarter move for your business. It's because trying to roll out PLG solo means you're typically hiring 5 or more specialists who've never built out a full PLG motion. You're wasting months running disconnected experiments. You're usually failing to get buy-in from leadership and consistency across the team. But with product-led, it's opposite. It's one decision, one team, one high-performing implementer who's trained, aligned, and ready to go right away. If you're serious about driving 1 million plus in self-serve revenue in the next 12 months without adding more headcount, Productled is your unfair advantage. So how the heck does this program actually work? Well, the whole goal or the name of the game at Productled is let's make this easy. So our winning formula is really simple. Proven system plus hands-on implementation equals guaranteed results. The proven product-led system. We install a custom product-led system inside your company so your product can actually sell itself. One of the pieces of feedback we have gotten from Billy at Staffed Up, who's a super happy client, is that we're not cookie cutter consultants. So we actually get into the weeds with them, we understand their business and actually help them execute at the end of the day. So the product-led system at a very high level, it's just 3 stages. There's the start stage, which is where we help you build your unshakable foundation. So that's where we'll clarify your winning strategy, help you identify who is your ideal user, and we'll design an intentional free model that attracts and converts. The other thing is we'll also, in the build stage, go through how we optimize your product to sell itself. So that's where we'll craft an irresistible offer that increases signups. We'll redesign onboarding to accelerate activation without any handholding, and we'll launch pricing that converts without lots of questions. The last thing for the scale stage is really we'll install a repeatable growth process. So we'll surface and identify what is that number one bottleneck in your business at any given time, so you always know. And then we'll prioritize and launch high impact experiments for your business and create a data-driven weekly growth cadence that will get your team excited to start seeing more and more results, because they will be seeing the business grow every single week because we are focusing on pulling the right growth levers in your business. So the product-led system, as we mentioned, has helped drive 1 billion plus in self-serve revenue across 400 plus B2B SaaS companies and is ready to be installed inside your business. If you want to learn more about the product-led system, just search for free product-led masterclass in Google or something like that. You'll find the YouTube video, or you can click the link here, or you can read the product-led playbook, as both of these do a fantastic job of just going through what is the product-led system, how does it work. The second part of our winning product-led formula is your hands-on product-led implementer. Every engagement includes a dedicated product-led implementer. So they're a cross-functional VP of growth that's embedded into your team. And so they're gonna actually help you drive the execution of PLG across all of your teams. They're not just here to give you advice. They are your strategist, your builder, and they're 100% focused on results. And so every one of these product-led implementers that we hire at Productled is experienced scaling other B2B SaaS companies from 0 to over $100 million plus in annual recurring revenue. And they have mastered the product-led system in order to be able to serve you in implementing it. And they have the ability to align leadership and get buy-in across functions. So we always look for assertive leadership. Can you push back on leader and really make a point and not ruffle feathers in the process, but make it fun? Because our goal is not to be your friend, it's to really help you execute and get to these specific outcomes in your business. And so we train for that. Another thing we go through is having a bias for action. So all of our implementers, they love what they do and they're excited to help you in those specific areas. And so they're not just gonna hand you a to-do list. They're like, no, I'm actually taking that off your plate because I'm better at this as nicely as possible. And the other thing too is these implementers are not alone. So all of our product-led implementers, we all communicate in the same Slack channels and everything else. So whenever there's an issue, we have a bench of product-led specialists that are willing to help them on the pricing side, the onboarding side, data side, you name it. We have their back to support them through any challenges that they approach as they're implementing PLG for your company. Over time, what a lot of our clients say is the product-led implementer actually really becomes an extension of their team. They have the weekly dedicated accelerator meetings and they have unlimited Slack access to their implementer. And so over time, they really become a great part of your team. The third part is really about results guaranteed. I don't say this lightly because a lot of companies say, hey, we'll help you hit these amazing results, and then they don't deliver. And so if you fully implement our recommendations and you don't actually see any measurable results within 90 days, we'll continue working with you for free until we do. So this way, there's no risk, there's no empty promises. We have the full accountability to serve you at the end of the day. But this is truly the product-led difference with some of the companies we've supported. So before Product-led, Promotix was going up against Eventbrite, which is the gorilla in their market. And they were having a very difficult time standing out in a crowded market. So we updated their homepage with them, and they saw 40% more signups with the same web traffic, and would highly recommend checking out the full podcast episode with the founder. Also, Boomi was a $4 billion sales-led behemoth that was struggling to compete against a lot more nimble PLG competitors in their space. And within a year, we launched a PLG motion that was responsible for driving 10% of all deals at Boomi. So over $400 million in revenue, which is amazing. You can go through those stories if you want to get a little bit more context on what they actually did to do that. What I want to share is to kind of zoom out and go through what are all of those things that we actually help you with, and how does this handoff work? So if we were to get started working together, what would that look like? Here's a laundry list of things that we would actually help you with. So when we get started, we will conduct a 9-point PLG audit at the beginning of the engagement to score you on the entire product-led system. And then we're going to craft a custom 30, 60, 90-day PLG roadmap to get you started on here's what we believe is the fastest path to see success with PLG. Then we're going to work with you to position your product as the obvious choice in your market. And we will pinpoint who your ideal customers are and research what is their job to be done. And we'll also map out what are the biggest challenges that are holding your users back from seeing success, so we can craft the perfect free model for them, and also sometimes create a lot more educational content for them to succeed. We will also identify exactly what to give away for free and what should be monetized. And we will update your homepage and your landing pages so that you can attract and convert significantly more of those ideal users. And we will also build out new onboarding flows that will accelerate your time to value so users convert faster. We will write your user onboarding emails, and we'll audit your pricing page and update it if we need to. So if you're not getting much expansion monthly recurring revenue, or your free to paid conversion rate's really low, we'll look at it and see, okay, what could we do to make this pricing world-class? And we will install product analytics. So if you don't have it installed yet, no worries. We'll also map out the main funnels in your product and identify the main drop-off points. And we'll build out a weekly scorecard that your entire team will use to optimize your go-to-market motion. And we will continuously identify what is your number one growth bottleneck in your product-led scorecard. And we will ship targeted experiments with your team every single month to drive more self-serve revenue. And we will host weekly meetings so that we keep everyone on track, implementing the product-led system as fast as possible. And we also host monthly planning meetings to align the entire company on what the top priorities are and projects to take action on. And we will check in multiple times per week on Slack to drive the engagement forward. And last but not least, we'll give your entire team access to the product-led MBA so we can train them up faster on implementing the product-led system. So this is all delivered inside of each engagement. It's crazy to even think that that's possible for us to do all of those things. But what we want to do at Productled is make the implementation easy. So we take on all the hard stuff so you can focus on what you do best, which is building the product. Many of our best potential clients, they always ask us, well, what is it going to look like if we were to get started? The ramp up process is really straightforward. Day one, this is where you're going to complete your onboarding form and begin granting us access to the key tools we need. So that could be your analytics, your CRM, your product data, and we will immediately kick off the 9-point PLG audit to uncover the bottleneck and quick wins. On the first week, your product-led implementer will go through this and they will conduct that PLG audit. And then what we'll go through is really just a kickoff call where we'll go through the findings from that and present to you what we believe is your first draft at the 30, 60 day, 90 roadmap. And in this is where we'll go through the quick wins and where we can have the biggest impact. And now weeks 2 to 3, that's actually where we'll just launch those quick wins to serve your business better. And then week 4, that's actually where we'll present the fully built out, customized 30, 60, 90 day roadmap for your business so we can actually start getting results for you. And then every month after that, we are going to go through and update that roadmap in the monthly planning meeting, which your implementer will host, which is also going to help you align everything else that you're going to be working on for your business. For the implementation investment, this ranges anywhere from $10,000 to $25,000 per month, depending on your annual recurring revenue. So for the startups, this is $10,000 per month. The growth stage, $20,000 per month. And for scale over 50 million ARR, this is $25,000 per month. Every engagement here includes advisory plus implementation. So we are not just advising you on like, hey, here's what you should do. We're also helping you implement. That is why there's a substantial investment here when it comes to enabling us to hire the right people, to build the right team to actually execute on these pieces. It's also collaborative, where we're going to take on some of these projects every single month to execute this in your business. And what's really cool about this is every single month, the projects are going to be wildly different. So it could be at the initial part, hey, we're going to be doing a lot more customer research. We're going to do wireframes of the new onboarding flows. Could be product marketing for a new homepage, pricing projects, you name it. We will keep it really, really focused on whatever is going to help you grow the fastest. One thing that's really unique as well is we are backing this with a 90-day results guarantee. So if you fully implement our recommendations and you don't see any measurable results within 90 days, we will keep working with you for free until you do. And that's unheard of. So we're not here to advise and disappear. And we are your long-term growth partner, and we only win when you do at the end of the day. Now, I want to talk a bit about why doing it yourself honestly doesn't make sense, because we have a lot of things here that we do focus in on. There's PLG strategy, there's user research, there's a free model design, crafting a new homepage, designing onboarding flows, setting up product bumpers, you name it. There's so many things that you have to do on your own. But when you start working with Productled, it's like, hey, listen, we'll take care of that. You don't have to become the PLG expert. You don't have to really update your PLG roadmap every single month. It's us that's going to be taking the lead on that. We're going to collaborate with you to update that, but we're always going to be focused on what is going to help you grow the fastest. What I would recommend is you can go through this very extensive list of here's all the things that are required in order to successfully scale a product-led growth motion. And I talk a bit about like, hey, you could do this yourself for free, but if you don't know, like with your product-led strategy, you don't know what you're doing, it's a waste of time. And it's actually one of the biggest wastes of time and will cost you the most money, yet you won't see it right away. There's many, many companies that reach out to us. Actually, the majority of the companies that reach out to us are like, product-led growth isn't working for us. We have a super low free to paid conversion rate. And then we look under the hood and we're like, oh, what happened here? There's a lot of DIY stuff that's going on that is holding you back. So bottom line, DIY is a lot slower and more expensive and risky long-term. Product-led is a lot faster, done for you, and built to scale for your business. So if you're ready to get started, what I would highly recommend doing is book a product-led growth game plan with a product-led advisor from our team. We will go through actually how to build this out in your business and how to get started with PLG. If you're still kind of waiting to pull the trigger, just a quick heads up. Over the past year, we have raised prices a couple times at least, and we're going to consistently raise it because there's a couple things that we always consider whenever we're raising prices is what needs to be required for us to successfully serve our clients at a very high level. And so that's tackling all of the main challenges that are required for you to see success with PLG, whether that's your onboarding flows, your conversational bumpers, or you name it, you're updating your homepage. So it's very service heavy. So we're always going to be going through and really improving our service, but that also means we are going to be charging more. So if this is something where you're like, hey, you know what? I've been thinking about this. I do want to work with you. Do it now sooner than later so you can get the grandfathered price at the end of the day. So there's a lot of questions that we often get when you do talk to a product-led advisor. You could ask some of these ones, or you could just kind of scroll through here and see them for yourself if you are very interested in working with us. But the main thing I'll just kind of wrap up here is if you're ready to break through your growth plateau and see success with PLG, I really encourage you, take that next step. And we can work towards adding 1 million plus in self-serve revenue within the next 12 months. And just book a call with our product advisor where we can create that custom POG game plan for your business. Happy growing.